Typhus and more characters for the Death Guard have arrived.
Spiky bits.
Welcome back, Hobby Maniacs. Rob Baer with you again today with a fair and honest review of the brand new characters for the Death Guard. Of course, we got Typhus and the very first clan pack, the Foul Blightspawn, which is pretty neat miniature abilities-wise for Games Workshop. Now, this is a $40 kit right here for Typhus. This is the new character pricing, it seems to be, and the Foul Blightspawn is a $25 clan pack miniature from Games Workshop. I imagine you'll be needing a couple of these, or there is the potential for folks to buy a couple of these, whereas you really only need one Typhus. Now, like a lot of people say out there, of course, you can buy the Death Shroud box and make 3 Typhuses if you really want to. Will they look as dope as this one? Well, it depends on how much work you put into it. Time, money, or skill, that's the thing that sets us all apart and all of our works apart too, I suppose. But at the end of the day, you know, some people just want the Typhus model, and there ain't nothing wrong with that. But some people want to convert one too and have some models left over. And hey, that's what this hobby is all about. Don't let anybody tell you how to do your hobby right there. But there's all sorts of potential, and that's kind of what makes this hobby and this, you know, everything we do here, from painting to converting, as fun as it really is. So here you get a better look at some of the detail that comes in Typhus. Of course, he's got his Man Reaper, the Destroyer Hive bits on the back, some crazy little extra duders that are going to come on or sculpted into the miniature, and then of course the Citadel paint guide right there. Once you open this up, it's going to come with, you know, you got your little plastic clam pack hard shell display box kind of thing, the little out of box experience, or the Ubi, and then Typhus instruction manual right here. Now I was looking through this. This is a 15 component kit that's well, it goes together very similar, I would say more similar to the Death Shroud than the Blight Lord Terminators, which are a separate video up this week here on the channel as well. So component wise, you know, there are some undercuts on the miniature. Like, you've got the front of Typhus's face, you've got some little hoses and things, his arm, just some different little random pieces that go on separately that you need to be aware of. Now his head is going to hook in through the front of his armor, but his armor, as you can see here, this is a, you know, one of those computer sliced miniatures, which we've seen a lot of the characters be. You know, you've got sometimes the multi-part side, sometimes the easy to build side, and then when it comes to guys like this, they really only go together a certain way with a certain amount of options, and that's what we're seeing here. You got a leg, you got an arm, you got half an arm, you got the head that goes through it, and then of course you see how that all kind of slots together for that assembly right there. So why there's one leg, I don't know. Why there's half an arm on the back of the torso, I don't know. But that's the way it is. But it goes together very similar to the Death Shroud, which is really cool to see. Detail wise, you can tell just looking at it, it looks to be very well detailed. We're going to show you the actual sprues themselves. So on the back, you've got both the shoulder pads and the rebreather kind of type thing that go on separately over the back torso piece. And then the Destroyer Hive itself, just like the Blight Lords, right on top there to finish it off. And then you've got the other leg, the Man Reaper up top, the hand, and this section of hosing that's going to go together, and it's going to lock in right there and tie it all together. Then last but certainly not least, looks to be the little cloud of flies, or like the vapor that's coming out of the Destroyer Hive itself. Now I would recommend just leaving that off and painting that separate if you want to get it like some crazy looking, you know, like blue fades or something like that, or something. That seems like a smarter idea. And then there's another little wisp piece right there as well. So you might want to keep those two pieces set off to the side separately. And then of course he goes onto a little cliff facing right there. That might be something that you also want to glue down separately and work up your base, because the base isn't as detailed. This isn't like a forge or resin piece or anything like that. Just some things to think about and be aware of when you're building up Typhus. Now rules wise, we'll get to that in a second. He is, what, 175 points. He does a decent amount of work on the tabletop, and I feel like in some of the competitive kits out there, he's almost an auto-include, or competitive builds out there, he's almost an auto-include if you go up to 2200, or perhaps, yeah, like 2200 points, or even 2500, he's almost an auto-include. But at 2K, he might not be an auto-include. just because he's good, but there's so much other stuff that synergizes so well in the Death Guard list, and then maybe you want to leave some room to bring in some demons that you don't summon to the table because they would mess up your ability to play stratagems and things because they don't have that Death Word keyword. You're going to have to summon them in, but if you don't want to go the Poxwalker route, of course, you can always bring in some Plague Bearers in a separate Chaos detachment. Perhaps there are some Sorcerers in there so you can warp time up Mortarion and have some fun with that. Now, here's a look at the kit. As you can see here, I mean, this is a fantastically detailed kit. Way more detailed than, you know, perhaps every other kit that's been released except for Mortarion himself. I mean, intricate rusting and pitting, little squiggles, iconography. Look at this cloud of flies. This is something that it looks to be more detailed than on the Death Shrouds. All of the icons up top of here, there's individual pitting and like cuts in the armor right there. Look at this sick Destroyer Hive top right here. You've got little hoses and stuff coming out, little individual rust sections. I don't know what that big circle thing is right there, but it's crazy. You've got more cuts, more pitting, little Nurglings holding intestines. They're just jolly. They just want to have fun. Even the hand bit looks like there's some crazy webbing inside of it. You know, like there's little pitting, there's little poxes. Look at all the hose work. Look at the individual, you know, greaves and things inside of the armor folds. On the back, you've got little divots, little tiny rivets inside of the armor, the trim. I mean, there's all sorts of crazy stuff in here. It's bananas. The amount of detail on this miniature. Like, I was thinking, like, I wanted one, you know, like, I had Typhus back in the day. He was fun. I really enjoyed it. I actually had a pre-metal version back when they did that. They spun up the casts, or the pewter casts, and they would give them out extra if you had made a mail order purchase that day, and you know they'd make like 50 of them. You could get them, and I actually got it a couple weeks ahead of time. Very cool times back then. Games Workshop, definitely a different company. I don't have to tell you that than 12 years ago. But hey, the designs have come a long ways. The plastic's amazing. Look at this Man Reaper. I mean, you've got the power cells here. You've got, look at all the little wrapping. Some sort of diseased bone kind of look right up here. I couldn't even tell you what it is. These spikes have actually many facets to them, facing different ways. You've got more pitting, more little cuts, more planes to work from, and hyper highlight right there. Very cool stuff. And then the front of the model itself, you got bells, you've got the little fly motif, you got pustules, chainmail, hoses, power lines. I don't even know what these things are. I don't know what you are, but you're cool too. There's your individual hose. And then I don't even know where to start with this little extra kind of smoke with flies all over it. And then a little rebreather thing right there. So very, very cool kit. Of course, comes on a 50mm base. Boom right there. And then you've got that piece that goes onto it to attach to. So overall, I can't say enough good things about the quality of this kit. Definitely come a long ways. It's probably more detailed than Aramon. It's probably more detailed than Karn. I'm really hopeful now for an Abaddon miniature because, man, if we get an Abaddon miniature, gonna be pretty sweet. There's Typhus's rules. You've probably seen a lot of these already. Like I said, they're good. They're not bananas. He can kind of come in around some stuff, do some things. He is a psyker. They have pretty powerful psychic abilities out there. He's going to be able to deny a power. He has 2 powers, your choice. The Destroyer Hive, way better than it used to be. Strength 4, it's a -3 AP damage. Always hits on a 5-up, regardless of modifiers, Overwatch, etc. 2d6 pistol. He is 175 points. And again, 15 component, $40 kit from Games Workshop here this week. And then next up on the character side is the Foul Blightspawn. This is the guy that doesn't allow you to attack or all enemies within 7 inches. He is on a 40mm base. Like I said, I think he's 8 components right there. You can kind of see how it all goes together. So you got your proverbial slices. This is a really interesting way of doing it because you've got your left and right kind of torso components, which is going to include 1 leg right here, some additional hosing, and then you've got the incubator thing back here. Then you've got your different arm, your different leg, the top, and whoever this little guy is here, little helper grenade chucker man. I don't know, what is he? Little jovial little grenade chucker guy, and then he's got himself a little, I don't know, hose to like squirt people with the stuff that's in there. I guess that's why they get slowed down rules wise, why they can't swing. So you can kind of get a better idea of the kit itself. There's your left and right of the backpack, but then it goes down and kind of forms the back torso as well with these recesses. Then you're gonna have your extra leg right here, which is already formed on the left and right half. Here's your little hose kind of cane staff thing. Your little, I don't even know what this is, some sort of scryer pole poker thingy. The head, or excuse me, that's your little jovial Nurgling. Kind of almost looked like a head right there. And speaking of head, that is going to be right here. That's the back. There's the front. This guy's actually seems to be a little big, but I like him just the same. And let's see what else. That's pretty much it. So there's your better shot of your left and right there. So very cool little miniature. He is going to run you about 77 points because I think he has a plague sprayer. And then that's pretty much it points wise. But like I said, he does come with the ability to slow people down on the charge right there. So that's the latest characters for the Death Guard. Now, of course, we know there's a lot more coming out next week. But for right now, we just have these guys and Mortarion himself. But lots more to come for sure. But in the near future, keep it locked here for all those fair and honest reviews on the latest miniatures from Games Workshop and a ton of other game companies out there. Make sure you subscribe to us, turn on notifications so you can be the very first to like and follow our features and leave comments. And head on over to thelongwar.net. That's the home of the battle boards for exclusive content, early access videos, and more. Become a veteran of the Long War today.